Hi, this is the host. Today's question is, can I analyze the letters sent by the Zodiac Killer? As always, if you find this analysis to be interesting or helpful, please show your support. First, I will look at the background of this case. Then I will move to the messages left by the Zodiac Killer. For those who are not familiar with this case, here is some background information. In the late 1960s and early 1970s, a serial killer was active in Northern California. He was named the Zodiac Killer because he claimed to have a star sign of the zodiac, which is why he became known as the Zodiac Killer. To date, his identity is still unknown, and the case remains unsolved. The police believe that he was responsible for at least 5 murders, but he may have been responsible for many more attacks. He was only ever caught on camera once, so we don't even know what he looked like. His first attack was in December of 1968. In the early hours of the morning, he shot 2 people who were sitting in a car parked along a beach. Both victims survived. His next attack was in July of 1969. This time he attacked 4 people. One of the victims was killed while the other 3 were wounded. His third attack happened about a month later. Again, he attacked 2 couples who were sitting in their cars. In total, he murdered 1 person and wounded 4 others. It appears that he would often target couples who were parked in secluded areas. After this attack, he started sending messages to the press. He seemed to be proud of his crimes. He boasted about them and taunted the police. Between 1969 and 1970, he sent 40 letters to newspapers and other media outlets. Some of these letters were signed with a cross-like symbol. This became known as the Zodiac symbol. Other letters were signed with a different symbol. This one resembles the head of a person with a bullet coming out of the top of the head. These symbols were sent alongside ciphers. Ciphers are secret codes. The police and the public spent countless hours trying to decode these messages, but many of them remain unsolved to this day. The police believe that he was responsible for another murder in September of 1970. This was his last known murder. He remained active until October of 1974. There was a final sighting of him in 1986, so he could have continued his killing spree after this date. The case remains open to this day, and the killer has never been found. Now moving to the letters. The first letter that I will look at was sent to the San Francisco Chronicle. It was postmarked December 4th, 1969. This letter reads, "I hope you are having a very Merry Christmas. I kept a clean copy of my last letter and sent it to the Chronicle." Guess what they did? They edited out the killings part and only printed this line from it. That's right. The killer wrote this message to brag about his crimes, yet he wasn't satisfied that the news media was giving his crimes enough coverage. He complained about this in the same letter. He said, "I don't understand why you say things like this. All I did was shoot some people. No big deal." This is how he described himself. He was completely remorseless and unremorseful. He doesn't take any accountability for his actions. Instead, he played the victim, saying that the news media made his killings seem like a bigger deal than they were. He used passive language, saying some people were shot. He didn't say that he shot people. By doing this, he tried to distance himself from his crimes, even though he bragged about them in the rest of the letter. He went on to say, "Why do you say I'm insane? You're the ones that are crazy. Why can't you let me tell my side of the story? I'm sure you would agree with me. I'm crazy. I admit it." Here he was trying to imply that he was mentally ill. He used a rhetorical question to ask the reader to agree with him that he was crazy. He wanted to portray himself as someone who was unwell, out of control, and not entirely responsible for his actions. However, there is no evidence that he was mentally ill. He was tried in court for his crimes, and a judge ruled that he was fit to stand trial. This killer was obsessed with getting attention. In this letter, he asked to be interviewed, and for the reporter to come to him instead of the other way around. He said, "Can't you come out and interview me where I'm hiding out now? What's so interesting about me?" He continued, "You could interview me and write down what I say. Or if you want, you could bring a tape recorder. I won't mind." Throughout this letter, He demonstrated a complete lack of remorse for his crimes. He called himself cool and said he liked killing people. He said, "Dear sir, with all this killing and violence, don't you think I am cool?" He ended the letter by signing it with the Zodiac symbol. The next letter was sent to the San Francisco Chronicle on April 20th, 1970. This is known as the Blue Rock Letter. It starts off innocently enough. He says, "How's everything going? It's me again, writing to you from the shadows. I keep watching you punks, waiting for the right time to pounce." This is a good example of his odd capitalization choices. He capitalized me and pounce, but he didn't capitalize anything else. He then gives his reason for writing. He said he wanted to see what kind of reaction his crimes would get from the public. He said, "It's fun reading your opinions in the paper. About me, especially the one where you said I'd never make it past 25 years old. I'm 26 for about 3 months now, and I'm still here, ain't I? Just thought I'd drop you a line to let you know I'm still in town and I might strike again soon." Here he mocked the news media. He said that the writers were stupid for thinking that he would die before reaching the age of 25. He then threatened to strike again. This is how he ended the letter. He said, "Your friend, the one who didn't make it past 25. Haha. The next letter was also sent to the San Francisco Chronicle. It was sent on June 9th, 1970. This letter includes one of his ciphers. It looks like this. This cipher was decoded and it simply read, "With my 9mm I can wipe out 60 of you filthy animals in less than 1 minute." Another message from the killer was received on August 7th, 1970. It was another cipher. This one reads, "I hope you have a lot of big squares, and don't forget the over and under." On November 11th, 1970, the killer sent a letter to the San Francisco Chronicle. It contained another cipher. This cipher remains unsolved to this day. The letter said, "This is the one that will get me." And he was right. This cipher remains unsolved. These letters demonstrate the killer's obsession with taunting the police. He believed that he was smarter than law enforcement and that they would never catch him. He believed that he was superior to everyone, including the police and the people who were trying to decipher his messages. He was arrogant and prideful. He thought that he was above everyone else and that he could do whatever he wanted. The killer was also obsessed with being famous. He wanted to be known as a famous killer. He wanted people to remember him long after he was dead. This is why he sent letters to the press. He wanted to get his name and face in the newspapers. He wanted to be remembered as the man who terrorized the city. Finally, the killer was sadistic. He enjoyed inflicting pain on others. He found pleasure in knowing that he could scare people. This is why he sent letters to the press. He wanted to remind people that he was still out there. He wanted to make sure that they never felt safe again. He wrote one letter to make sure that the public understood that he was not afraid of the police. He wrote, "They can't stop me. I have weapons. I have plenty of bullets. Who's to stop me? Not the police, not you punks." These letters contain some of the most important clues in this case. Unfortunately, the killer was successful in confusing the public and the police. He created ciphers that are still not solved. These letters are chilling. When you read them, you can feel the anger and hatred coming through the pages. They are a reminder of the evil that exists in our world, an evil that can never be forgotten. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, be sure to subscribe. I will provide updates on this channel. If you have a question that you would like to see answered, please send it in. I will try to respond to as many questions as possible.